Meantime, Kelly's court is back in session. On the docket today, a motion to ban certain words at the trial of the man accused of killing teenager Trayvon Martin. A pre-trial hearing is underway right now in Florida for George Zimmerman, where a number of issues are coming up before the trial starts next week. Zimmerman claims he shot Trayvon Martin in self-defense last year. Now his attorney, Zimmerman's, is trying to make sure certain words and phrases aren't used during this trial. On his list, profiled, or any variation of it. Vigilante, self-appointed neighborhood watch captain he wants banned. Wannabe cop, he says should not be said. And he is also against allowing prosecutors to say, quote, Zimmerman got out of the car after the police or the dispatcher told him not to. Or that Zimmerman, quote, confronted Trayvon Martin. Can you do this? Joining me now, Mercedes Colwin, who's a Fox News legal analyst, and Mark Eiglarsh, who's a former prosecutor and defense attorney. So I get, you know, not wanting to characterize, right, your client, right? With like, okay, I kind of get like wannabe cop. All right, maybe he's the, but don't let them say anything about how my guy got out of the car after the 911 operator told him not to. That's kind of relevant, Mark.
I think so. Listen, I love that they're filing the motion, but it has to be denied. I'm a trial lawyer, and it is my tool to be, and the law allows me to make any argument that is based on a reasonable inference from the evidence. Listen, why stop there, O'Mara? Why don't you add that you don't want prosecutors to use the G word? I hate when they say my clients are guilty. It makes them look bad. How about that finger pointing? I don't like that finger pointing either.
It really does. When you read this, it really sounds like if you could just exclude anything that might be harmful to my client, that would help us out so much, Judge.
Right.
Thank you. Because, listen, here's the 911 call where the 911 operator says to George Zimmerman, don't follow. Listen.
This guy looks like he's up to no good, or he's on drugs or something. It's raining and he's just walking around looking about.
Are you following him?
Yeah.
Okay, we don't need you to do that.
Okay.
And so now, Mercedes, he wants banned any mention to Mr. Zimmerman allegedly getting out of the car after the police told him not to. Isn't that a question of fact that they're supposed to argue about?
It is a question of fact, but I think what O'Mara did is simply he said, I'm going to put everything out there and let this judge pick and choose, because frankly, he may lose that argument, but vigilante, profiled, wannabe cop, those might be much more serious, and those are the ones that he's going to really push forward and argue all of them, so that way the judge then is confronted with multiple ares that he has to be excluded at trial. I think it's brilliant, though.
In what way would those come? You don't really generally talk like that, you know, in your opening statement, but you can say the evidence will prove that he is a wannabe cop. I mean, most of the stuff is argumentative, but I just don't see how he's got even a shot at this, nor how even this motion is going to affect the jury pool. But we're going to talk about this, and we're going to talk about what happened in court this morning. All right, so Mercedes and Mark back with me now. The other big thing that they're arguing over in court today is whether the state can offer expert testimony on whether it was Trayvon Martin who is screaming on this 911 call as witnesses called up to say, hey, there's this big fight, whether he is screaming in the background, quote, I'm begging you, and, quote, stop. The prosecution wants to say that's the case. O'Mara, the defense attorney, says, no, those experts are not reliable. Here is the tape in question.
911, do you need police, fire, medical?
Maybe both. I'm not sure. There's just someone screaming outside.
Hey, what's the address that they're near? Okay. And is it a male or female?
It sounds like a male.
And you don't know why?
I don't know why. I think they're yelling help, but I don't know.
And it goes on from there. Is this likely to be excluded altogether, Mercedes?
I think it would be really difficult for it to be excluded wholly. It depends on whether the judge thinks it's much too prejudicial. And frankly, it's very difficult to even hear. Even the person who's closest to the tape can't really make out.
That's why they want to offer expert testimony about what's being said.
And that's one of the reasons why it may be excluded. If that is something that can't be, she can't even determine it on the 911 call, whether it's male, female. I think it's male. I'm not sure what he's screaming. I'm too afraid to go out there. I think the judge may say this is way too prejudicial for us to let it go to the jury.
They're in the court right now, as you can see, arguing over this very issue. The defense says the state's experts are using unproven science and shouldn't be allowed to testify about this at all, Mark. Are they likely to prevail on that?
Wait a second. If Mercedes just said that the judge may preclude the 911 tape from coming in, I thoroughly disagree with her. With 100% certainty, she's letting that tape in. What's not necessarily clear is whether the experts are going to clear the Fry hearing and somehow show that the experts have, it's accepted within the scientific community, what they're alleging and the technology that they use to ascertain who it is on that tape. That's in question. It depends on what they're going to say. But that tape is coming into evidence.
Yeah.
It should come into evidence.
The tape comes in, but the expert testimony, we have to wait. That's what they're arguing over right now. Panel, thank you.